Hello learners, welcome to this session on your program Certificate in Fashion Design. I, Dr. Divya Ojha, Academic Associate from School of Vocational Education and Training, IGNOU, welcomes you all. So learners, today's topic of discussion is Basics of Pattern Making and Sewing. That is one of the course of this particular program, Certificate in Fashion Design, that is CFDE. We hope that you have gone through the study material and you are aware about this particular course, BFDI 072 Basics of Pattern Making and Sewing. So, as you know, this particular program, Certificate in Fashion Design, it is a 16 credit program and it comprises of 4 courses. So, 4 courses, that course 1 is about fundamentals of fashion design. Course 2 is about basics of pattern making and sewing, on which we will be discussing today. Course 3 is about introduction to fashion industry, and course 4 is about communication and entrepreneurship. So today we will be focusing on the course 2, that is basics of pattern making and sewing. So in this particular course 2, that is basics of pattern making and sewing, it is a 4 credit course in which 2 credit is for the theory and 2 credit is for practical. So as this is the main course of your program Certificate in Fashion Design, 2 credit is given to the practical, as you will be doing the hands-on and you will be developing the samples, that how of different samples of stitches and the garments. That's why 2 credit is given for the practical. So let us see in brief what this particular course basics of pattern making and sewing is. So in this particular course you have to study 2 blocks and 1 practical workbook is there. Block 1 is about introduction to pattern making. Block 2 is about sewing techniques, and then there is a practical workbook which is based on both the blocks which you have studied and all the units which you will be studying in these 2 blocks. So block 1, when you see, that is introduction to pattern making, it comprises of 4 units. So unit 1 is methods of pattern making, unit 2 is tools of pattern making, unit 3 is body measurements, and unit 4 is about pattern information and marking. So in our last session we have discussed first 2 units of this particular block, that is methods of pattern making and the tools for pattern making. In this session we will discuss the block 3, body measurement and pattern information and markings. So let us start with the unit 3, that is body measurement. So this unit will help you to understand not only the techniques or on the importance of taking the body measurement, but also you will learn about the guidelines and the procedures for taking the important body measurements and how correctly the body measurement you will be taking, that you will learn in this particular unit. And also you will learn about the size chart and the different using of that particular size chart. So with that objective, the main learning outcome of this particular unit is that you will be able to state and explain the importance of measurement taking. You will list and describe the guidelines for measurement taking, and you will identify the body landmarks, that different body landmarks are there which you will be studying and you have to learn while you take the body measurement. And lastly, you will be able to demonstrate the body measurement using style and measuring tape. So these are the main learning objective of this particular unit, on basis of which you have to study this particular unit. So first of all, understand what is body measurement and why it is important. So when you learn to develop a garment or construct a garment, the first thing that you have to understand and learn is to take the body measurement, because without having a good measurement of the body, we cannot create a good fitted garment. So it is very technical thing to understand. So measurements are very important element, as the fit of any garment depends upon the pattern which we used, and which in turns are dependent upon the measurement what we take. So if we are not able to understand how many landmarks are there and how we will take the body measurement, we cannot create the good pattern. And if the pattern which we have made, it will not give a proper fit to the garment. So pattern we have already studied in the unit 1, that it is the basic template on which we use to create the garment. So before developing the garment, we create the pattern, and before developing the pattern, we need the measurements. So it is very important to take the measurement very wisely. Measurement taking is a scientific art that should be done with great accuracy and should be double checked. So if you are taking the measurement, you should at least check, or you should be very conscious when you are taking the measurement. You have to keep all the landmarks in your mind when you are taking the measurement, and all the procedures and the guideline which we will study, you have to follow that. Now let us see what are different guidelines for taking the body measurement. So first important thing, or the first important guideline while you are taking a body measurement, is the person should wear close fitting garments, as the loose fitted garment will not help you identify the body landmarks and will lead to incorrect measurements. Like suppose if you have a good experience of taking body measurement, you will understand this point very correctly, that if the person for whom you are going to take a measurement for constructing a garment, if he or she is wearing a very loose fitting garment and you are taking a measurement, you will not find the appropriate measurement when you are taking. So it is advisable that if for the person for whom you are going to take the measurement, they should wear a close fitting garment, so that the measurement you take, it will be very accurate. The second guideline is the person should stand straight with the feet placed together, as the wrong posture can give incorrect measurement. So it is advisable that for whom you are taking the measurement, they should stand straight with their feet together, as if they are not standing straight or any another posture, the measurement will not be accurate, what measurement if you are taking. Then third point is take all the measurements closely but not too tight. Like sometimes we feel that if we take the measurement very close to the body, we will have a good fitted garment, but it is not correct. So it is said that take all the measurement closely but not too tight, and all the girth measurement means the circumference or the round measurement of the body, should be taken with a finger ease between the tape and the body. Suppose you are taking a measurement of the waist, so if the measuring tape which you have put around your waist of the person, there should be a finger ease between the body and the tape which you have taken. Then next is, it is best to take the measurement with a mirror at the back. So why it is said that you should keep a mirror at the back? Because we have certain points or the landmarks on the body, and so you are taking the measurement, and to whom you are taking a measurement, the person is standing in front of you, and you have taken the measuring tape from the back side, and you cannot see you are not able to see that the measuring tape, it is at the proper position of or it is turned around. So it is better to keep a mirror to have the back view of the person or the tape which is you have kept around to get the accurate measurement. So this will ensure that all the measurement you are taking or the measuring tape, it is parallel to the floor or it is at the accurate position on the body. Also ensure that while taking the vertical measurements, the tape is perpendicular to the floor. When you are taking the vertical measurement, the length measurement, the tape or the measuring tape which you are using, it should be perpendicular to the floor. Next is we should use a good quality tape. With the measuring tape which you are using, it should be of good quality. It should neither stretch or not should be very stiff. If the tape you are using, it is very stiff, so if you take the measurement, you will not get the accurate measurement, and or you will have the measurement one minus according to the measurement which you want. So you should have the good quality tape, and if the tape is very stretchable, it will also not give you the correct measurement. Next is do not let the person look down at the measurement being taken. So ask the person to stand straight and look forward. They should not look downward or to the measurement which is taken. Next is do not add any ease or extra margin to the measurement taken. Ease can add while drafting the pattern. So when you are taking the measurement, please note down the measurement which is coming. Like suppose you are taking a measurement, it is coming around 30 or 32 or 34. You should write that measurement and do not add any extra margin or any extra number to that. We have to add the extra margin or the numbers when we are creating the pattern or when we are developing the pattern. We add the extra ease at that time, not at the time of taking the measurement. Lastly, it is best to follow the sequence and note down all the measurement. So when you are taking the measurement, it is better to follow the sequence. There are certain sequence that we will discuss in later slide, that we have to follow that sequence, and it is better to start taking the measurement in that sequence only and write all the measurement very correctly and the measurement which you have taken. Then there are certain process of taking the measurement. Now right now we discuss the different guidelines what we have to follow while taking the measurement. Then there are different process of taking measurement that we right now said that we have to follow the process or the sequence. So there are certain sequence that in the first step we should take the girth measurement, then we come for the horizontal measurements, and then the length or the vertical measurement. Now let us see what all type of measurement comes under the girth measurement. So girth measurement includes all the round measurement or the circumference measurement, such as you can see in the picture, that the girth measurement includes the bust circumference or the chest circumference, waist circumference, hip and the neck girth. All the round measurement of the body, it comes under the girth measurement, and that should be taken first in the process of measurement, body measurement. Second is the horizontal measurement. That includes the across back, across chest, shoulder length, across shoulder and bust span. So all these, the horizontal measurement, like when we take the measurement of the shoulder or the across back, like the back from one shoulder to another shoulder, then across chest, shoulder length, all that comes under the horizontal measurement. Third process or the step is the vertical measurement, in which we take the measurement for the front length, center front length, center back length, shoulder, high shoulder point to bust point, and armhole depth. All these measurements are taken under the vertical measurement. Then there are two types of body measurements we take. First is those that are actual point on the body measurement. Actual point, that is the length and the width, and those are the horizontal circumference around the body. Both of these types, the actual measurement or the horizontal and the circumference measurement, we need both these types of measurement for the construction of the pattern, development of the pattern and construction of the garment. So all these points, the guidelines, the process and the types of measurement you have to keep in mind when you are going to take the measurements. And there are different body landmarks you have to understand, which is very important when you are taking the measurement of the body. Then in the picture, also in your study material, your picture is provided that you can see that there are different landmarks, total 17 landmarks it is given on the body, that is we need to take the measurement for every type of the garment, such as we have the armholes, back neck depth, front neck, shoulder, cap sleeve length. All these measurements we have to take under the body landmark. Then one important topic of this particular unit is size chart. So size chart is very important, because when we develop a pattern, so for every garment, or if we have developed a pattern of one particular size, so we cannot develop a different pattern or of number of sizes. So in that case we use the size chart so that we can manipulate that particular pattern to have different sizes from one particular pattern. So size chart, to get the size chart, how it is developed in industry, to get the size chart, sample population is measured to get a trustworthy data. So when to develop a size chart, the designers or the manufacturers, what they do, they take a survey or they take a particular population or number of people, they take the body measurement of each and one, and on the basis of that particular data, they develop one standard measurement. Like when we go to buy any garment of any brand, we see that there are number of sizes like small, medium, large, 30, 34, 36. So all that is based, or that they have created from a particular sample size or with a survey. So that they have developed, and it is basically done for the ready-made garments are produced for the mass that fall in different sizes. Like we cannot, being a manufacturer or a designer, we do not have to develop a garment of only one size. We have to develop for the n number of sizes. So all for that we have to prepare the size chart. A sizing system is based on body measurement and taken on a cross section of population. So it is taken from the sample from the population. On the basis of that, the size chart is developed, and on the basis of that we develop the standard patterns. Then the study of the sample population helps manufacturer to produce garment which provide a good fit for a large number of customers. It also gives an effective sizing system, must cover the largest number of people with the smallest number of sizes. Like from the maximum to the minimum, we have all the number of sizes. So different country uses different size intervals. Like right now we discussed some brands, they have different sizes in numbers like 10, 12, 14, 16, and some brands they have in the alphabets like small, medium, large, extra large. All that is based on the different brands to brands. So this is the basic idea of size chart. And now why it is important, what is importance of the size chart? So proper sizing is very important to the ready to wear garments. So if we are buying a ready-made garment, if the fitting is not good or it is not of our size, we will not purchase that particular garment. So proper sizing is very important to the ready to wear garments as industry because of the following reasons. Like, it allow the manufacturer to produce garment which can fit the maximum number of people. This will help the retailer to stake a suitable range of sizes in each style and thus cater his market. And with proper size range, the customer is at an advantage as this increases the chance of finding garment in a size and a style. So if we manufacturer have different sizes of a particular design, it invites customer, or they have lot of customer interest to buy from their particular brand. So this is the importance of the size chart. So all these topics are being covered in the unit 3 body measurement, that in detail you can study from your study material. Then the unit 4, that is the last unit of this particular block, is pattern information and marking. So it is very important because in the first unit we have studied about developing a pattern. We know about different tools of pattern making. We know about, right now we discussed about taking body measurement. So then the next unit or the topic is, if we know and we have developed the pattern, then it is very important. So being a designer or being a student of design, that we should know the technical terms or the differences between the what all information we have to write on the pattern. So this unit will deal about the professional language of the pattern. So we hope that after going through this unit, you will be able to recognize and illustrate pattern information, identify and measure different ease amounts, and you will be able to demonstrate production pattern making and the markings. All these are basic learning outcome of this particular unit. So first term or the first topic which is discussed in this particular unit is or the information which we have on the pattern is the seam allowance. Seam allowance are the margin given around the working pattern. So pattern which we have developed, there is a certain amount or seam allowance is given. Like in the body measurement part, we said that we do not have to add any extra ease or margin when we are taking the measurement. That we will do in the pattern development part. That this seam allowance is the part of that particular adding the extra ease or the allowance. So seam allowance are the margin given around the working pattern. This will help you to hold 2 layers of the fabric together and stitch. Seam allowance are made by drawing the set measurements on the outline of the pattern, and amount of seam allowance varies from straight area to the curve area. Like when we develop the pattern, or you will be developing a pattern, you will experience this particular while you will doing the hands-on, that the seam allowance, it differs from the straight area of the pattern to the curve area. So we have different amount of ease to provide, or the seam allowance we have to provide according to the type or the pattern we are developing. Then this is the image how the seam allowance, the extra line apart from the pattern which you see, it is the allowance which is given on the pattern. Then truing of the seam allowance. Next important topic is it is truing of seam allowance. So seam allowance once drawn need to be trued. Means that if what the margin or the allowance which we have given, it needs to be improvised. So truing is important at the beginning and end of the side seam and the shoulder seam. To true a side seam, fold the seam allowance to the garment and run tracing wheel at the armhole curve. once the final pattern are made, it is not necessary to have the stitching line marked on it. Like if we have trued the seam allowance, it is not necessary on the pattern that we will have the marking of the stitching line. So moreover, in production it is not possible to mark the seam lines. On all the layers of the cutting marking, notches are commonly handy. So it is not possible to make the seam allowance or the cutting or the stitching line on every layers of the fabric. So one of the marking we do, it is the notches or the notching. That is, it is one of the symbol that it means the person who is going to construct, they understand that from this particular point we have to cut or we have to stitch the fabric. So this is about the truing of seam allowance. Then next is pattern information, which is very important to understand when you have developed the pattern and you have forwarded that pattern to the production department and they are going to use that pattern for stitching. So there are certain informations which is given. There are two types of informations we write, two ways. That first is the written information, that it is like the name of the garment, name of the pattern pieces, sizes, like it is of which size the pattern is, center front and center back, style number, code number, number of pieces to be cut. All these information are written in the written form. Then the second is the marking and symbols. Like some informations we do not write, we use the symbol or the marking for that, like size selection line, cutting line, like dotted line are said as the cutting line, sewing line, arrow, bust point, cut and fold. All these comes under the symbols and the markings. Then one important thing to understand is the specification sheet. So specification sheet, it is a documentation sheet including all the design details and the specific stitching details of the minutest area. So all that in the picture you can see. This is how the specification sheet looks like. So it contains all the information, and if we forward this sheet to the production department, they understand what they have to do. So learners, in this particular session we discussed about the unit 3 body measurement and unit 4 the pattern information and marking. In detail you can study in your study material. So briefly we have discussed all the topics. In detail you can study in your study material, and if you feel any query or any difficulty, you can write us on cfde@ignou.ac.in. We will be happy to answer all your queries. Thank you.